Hey guys, it's Sophie, or Complexy990 is my YouTube channel, and like many others before me, I am here to show a first battle on PMP. It is an OU battle against Drshenanigans777. If anything, you should check him out. He is an awesome battler in all senses of the word, and narrator. So, anyway, to get right off the bat, after looking at the team preview, which popped up a bit quick there, I noticed that it's going to be extremely important for me to keep Tracheon around, and you're going to see that later going on through. So, anyway, he's going to lead off with Scizor. I'm going to lead off with Ferrothorn. Going to go straight for the Protect to scout out if he's going to go for the Fighting move right off the bat. And I'm feeling pretty safe after he does it. So he actually is going to go for the U-turn again. As I go for the Leech Seed, I'm not thinking he's going to want to go straight into his Ferrothorn. Mainly because usually that's the obvious switch into Ferrothorn and I could switch out. And here I'm actually going to get a bit risky, and I'm going to stay in, and instead of switching out, I'm thinking that because I revealed the Protect first turn, it's going to work to my advantage, and that he's going to feel the need to go for the Stealth Rocks, protecting my switch, or Protect to get extra Leech Seed. But he actually goes straight for the Fire Blast, which kind of surprised me. Not sure if it was like a grade 4 prediction, you know, predicting my prediction, or just him wanting to go straight for the Fire Blast. Either way, it's going to work out for him. But it also is going to work out for me in the fact that now I look like I'm predicting straight off the bat, so I can go into Terrakion and go straight for the close combat instead of try to predict here. He does assume that because I did all those predictions before, I'm going to go for the Stone Edge, thinking his Dragonite's going to come in, which would have been really nice to get some damage on that Dragonite, but like I said, I did want to go a little bit obvious here because I thought that would be something you wouldn't expect right now. As you're going to see, he doesn't really have much to take close combats on his team. The Starmie is going to be a resist, but it's going to take almost half to that, and that is going to be some very nice damage on that. The only thing he really has to take it now is Dragonite, because obviously the Starmie cannot switch into any more of those without being 2-hit KO'd by the Choice Scarf Tracheon. But it is not going to be 2-hit KO'd after leftovers, so I'm going to have to switch into Hydreigon, who can take any move it really wants to go for, especially after seeing it's not Life Orb. I know a Hydro Pump isn't going to be doing much, and indeed it does do less than a third, so it's going to be fine. And here I do predict him to switch out. He doesn't have anything other than Dragonite that he could switch into, and that does not seem like the good decision because I could go for the Draco Meteor. I'm assuming he's going to want to switch into one of his Steel types to take either the Flamethrower or whatever, the Draco Meteor or the Dark Pulse. But I actually do go for the Focus Blast and miss, getting a little bit behind here, but whatever. And he misses, but that's Focus Miss for you. Gonna switch into Deoxys, predicting the HP Ice, but he actually goes straight for the Fire Blast, which is gonna be fine because I would have just set up Stealth Rocks anyway. They would have been useful, and he did make a kind of risky play by going for the Fire Blast, but you know, that's what you gotta do, and it worked out for him there. So, great prediction on his part. Gonna go straight into Terrakion again. Go for the obvious close combat, because really he has nothing that he wants to switch into it at this point. If he does switch in Dragonite, I am going to have the advantage of breaking his multi-scale, so it's a good situation all around. But now that he knows I'm locked into close combat, he gets a free switch into Dragonite, which is unfortunate, but I do have Scarm, and that's going to wall this thing pretty well. It could have Fire Punch, but most of them don't run it, and after seeing Waterfall, I'm feeling pretty safe to stay in here. Gonna get up a layer of spikes on his switch, which is going to be helpful because most of his team is going to get hit by spikes on the switch in. But I do decide actually to go for the Whirlwind first because I'm assuming he's going to want to switch out unless he has the Fire Punch, or he could set up. That's his only other option, and going for the Whirlwind is going to be the best situation in that case. But I do set up the layer of spikes here as I Whirlwind him out into his Scizor. Because really, what can Scizor do to a Scarm? Even if he did have superpower and went for it, it would have done about, I think, 60%. Especially, I think it would have done less after seeing his leftovers. But that's just a guess based on what I've experienced up PO. So now he's going to switch into Starmie. I'm obviously going to be threatened out by the Thunderbolt, or really any special move in general. This is a purely physically defensive Skarmory, so gonna switch into Gengar, thinking he might go for the Rapid Spin. Now, my thought process here was that, you know, I set up that layer of spikes. I'm thinking he's gonna predict my Hydreigon, and seeing as he can't really do anything with Thunderbolt or Hydro Pump to it, he's gonna want to go for the Rapid Spin so that his switch will have, you know, his move will have meaning in a sense. But he actually does go for the Thunderbolt, so you know, failed prediction, but at the same time, I do threaten him with the Focus Blast. By bringing Gengar in, I can go for the Shadow Ball and not risk him switching into one of those Steel-type Pokemon because I know he's going to think that I'm going to predict him and go for the Focus Blast. So I do get to OHKO that Starmie, which is going to be very good because now I can bring in Terrakion on the blind switch, go for the Stone Edge, and take out this Dragonite, which was a bit surprising. He actually might not have had Multiscale there, which is that was the one weird part of the match, but you know, whatever. Now he goes into his own track out. I'm going to switch out into my Skarmory. Skarm isn't going to be able to take a close combat, which is unfortunate, but, well, I can't take two of them, rather. I apologize. But it is going to give me the information that he is a Life Orb, which is going to be really important for me to know, because now I know that I can for sure outspeed with my own Terrakion, which is Choice Scarfed. And that is going to be important in taking out his Terrakion. So after I fodder out my Skarm, he's going to be at -2 defenses. There's no way he can take a close combat from Terrakion. And he's not going to want to switch any of his remaining Pokemon, being Terrakion, Ferrothorn, and Scizor, into the close combat. So I'm assuming he's just going to leave it in. Either way, I'm in a good position. Unfortunately, though, here is where I may have made a bit of a misplay by going for the close combat. If I had gone for the Earthquake and taken it out, which I thought he might have predicted that and gone into his other Pokemon. But if I had gone for the Earthquake, I wouldn't be at -1, and I would not be fearing this Bullet Punch as more, so I could have gone for a second one. Unfortunately, though, I do have to switch out because I could not take a Bullet Punch at -1 defenses. I go into my Hydreigon, and I was hoping maybe a Hydreigon could take 2 since he is a lefties variant rather than Choice Banded, but that is not the case. He gets a useless crit there. The first one did about, like, I think 35%, and I had maybe like 60% health. I mean, it was pretty obvious by a kind of a smidge of health that I was not going to live the second one. So I'm going to go into Terrakion here. He's going to make a great play, go into his Ferrothorn, instead of going straight for the Bullet Punch, knowing that when I'm not at -1 defense, I can easily live a lefty's Bullet Punch. But he is going to switch this thing in, so I am at -1 defense, and then come in and go for the Bullet Punch. There, it was kind of questionable. I couldn't really have gone for the Earthquake because it would have been too risky if he had gone for the Bullet Punch. But, you know, it was still a great game, a narrow 1-0, and I really enjoyed that, John. So, yeah, if you enjoyed the battle, you should go check out John because he's an awesome battler, narrator, and everything, Drshenanigans777. And if you enjoyed the narration, you can check out my channel. So, thanks for watching, y'all, and goodbye.